Hey everybody, what's up? How are you guys doing? I hope everyone is doing great. So, on this video, I would like to share with you a personal experience that I recently had this year. So, I want to tell you why you should read the Bible and how Calvinism has changed my life in the way that I see the Bible and the Holy Scriptures. So, yeah, it's going to be a really interesting topic to talk about. But before I get into it, let me just ask you to please like this video to help me. I am still in the beginning process of, like becoming a YouTuber. So I have been very focused and I have done videos in Spanish and Portuguese, mostly in Portuguese, but also now I want to start making more videos in English. So yeah, I am really focused and I really need your help. So if you could please share this video with other people, with your friends, and also check out the other videos that I have in English here in the channel. And at last, if you want to become a member of the channel, you're gonna really help me a lot. So it is, I think the cheapest one is like $1. So like it's nothing, just like a tip. Even tips are higher than that, but yeah, it's gonna make a difference for me, that's for sure. Okay, now having said that, let's go back to the topic of this video. So I would like to share this experience, this amazing experience, the amazing journey that has been. It all started when I was searching about the saints of the British countries plus Ireland. So I was searching about St. Patrick, St. David's, St. Andrews, uh, and I got really fascinated. I got really interested. I am a very curious person, and I'm also very open-minded. So if you mix those two, then you've got someone who really eager to learn more and more. And I found fascinating the stories. And I got to realize that I didn't know much about the Catholic Church, for example, and the famous saints. I knew their names, but I didn't know anything about their stories. So I was really curious. I was struck by that. I got really curious to learn more, and I was reading more, searching more, studying more about the Catholic Church, and watching many videos of fathers, priests. There is a lot for you to learn. There is a lot to know. It is very complex. And it is very complex because it is a 2000-year history. It is a really long period of time. And I was thinking about it like, okay, so I can approach the Catholic Church in two different views, me personally. So the first one, it is a very complete. So it is complex because it is complete, and all of these are uh, important things that we must learn about. It's all part of the Christian history. So it's all important. And the second view is that instead of being complex because it is complete, it is complex because a lot of people have made up a lot of things. So traditions, they were adding saints, like they were turning so many people into saints and etc. So as I was reading and studying more, I got to realize that it's much more likely to be the second view, especially after I got into reading about the Protestant reform. And then one thing led to the other. So I was really into understanding more the Catholic Church because I was like, okay, I can't have an opinion if I don't know anything about it. So, like I'm not one of these persons that just creates an opinion like out of nowhere without even like stopping to read and trying to understand that subject. So everything I try to understand and to read to learn more. And okay, and I got really interested because I love history. So to know the history of the church and so many important figures, who contributed a lot. I was really into this topic, history of church, and everything changed when I was watching videos about the Reform, about the Protestants, Martin Luther. I watched one video in specific that really like clicked for me. It really changed me. The title of this video is The Legacy of John Calvin by Stephen Lawson. And after I watched this video, I was really impressed and fascinated about the figure of John Calvin and his influence and all his work in Switzerland and in Switzerland's history. You know, uh, it is amazing. It is amazing. I just loved. At the end of this video, I was like, I'm a Calvinist. Now I am a Calvinist. I didn't know much about it, but I was like, man, uh, this feels right. I think this is the way. And then I started watching more videos from this YouTube channel, which is Ligonier Ministries, and it's really interesting. It's really a lot of profound topics. There are several theologians, professors, and they discuss a lot of philosophical topics. They really study the Bible in a very serious way. And I started to watch, for example, videos of a Presbyterian pastor, Brazilian pastor. His name is Augustus Nicodemus. And the way he explains, the way the Presbyterians they explain the Bible. My whole life, I was reading the Bible and I couldn't understand it. I mean, I always found it fascinating, a book with many amazing and beautiful stories, like important lessons that we could take from them and apply in our daily lives. Also, a lot of wise sayings, a lot of wise words, for example, Psalms and the Proverbs of Solomon. So I used to read a lot of these books, in the New Testament, uh, what Jesus thought and all the miracles that he performed. I was always reading, but only these main books, the other ones I didn't know much. But this year I finished reading the all the New Testament, and I just started recently, a couple of weeks ago, to read the Old Testament. And yeah, this year, 2024, I'm gonna finish the whole Bible, and now I can understand it in a much deeper way. Before, I was just reading as I was lost. I was just reading because, okay, I should read the Bible. But why? So, this is a guide for us, to understand the teachings from Jesus, and the teachings from God. So now it has been a completely different experience for me because as a kid, as a teenager, because of my parents, I always attended church on the weekends. But all these churches they were like going in circles around it, and but they were not like focusing on the most important thing, the essence, which is the God's word, the Bible, the scriptures. So so these churches, a lot of the pastors, they were like telling stories about their lives. And then I went to this city and I did this and that happened, and then I met someone with possessed by a demon, this kind of thing. And that is not the focus. So the focus should be into understanding the word of God deeper in a profound way. Just like, for example, the teacher that you had in high school, he was just telling stories about his life instead of teaching like the subject that he was assigned to. So yeah, it is basically that. And I was really sure that I would never go back to church again because after a while I got to realize, I don't know, man, I don't like going to church. I don't like being here. There were things that I didn't agree with. There were things that I didn't take seriously. For example, speaking in tongues. These people they behave. People who attend this kind of church they behave like it is something normal. And I don't doubt that it does exist. After watching all the sermons by Calvinists, by Presbyterians, pastors. I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally different from everything that I have seen before, everything that I had learned while going to church. So it's a whole new world. And the thing is that a lot of people in the society, they don't take Christians very seriously because, for example, uh, someone, they just don't want to say like, okay, they are not Muslims, they are not Buddhists, but they don't believe in anything, so they just say like, ah, yeah, I'm a Christian because when I was a kid I went to church and I know the stories. Yeah, I'm a Christian, but they don't live as Christians, so they don't show like example. They don't they are not an example, they are not role models of Christians, you know. So there is a lot of people like this in the society, but also uh, there are the Christians who go to church, but they go to this kind of church where a lot of crazy things happen. You know, like people like going crazy, going wild. It literally looks like a circus. You know, so many people in society, they can't take Christians serious also because of this kind of Christians. You know, uh, I was one of these people who didn't take this kind of Christian serious. You know, I was like, man, this looked like ridiculous. You know, so many ridiculous and stupid things. So a lot of stupid people have turned Christianity into something totally different and very far from the essence. So there is this whole circle, as I said before, so many different denominations into this circle, but they are not focused in the middle. You know, they are very far from its original purpose, and that's why only this year that I finally got to find the right people, people who take the Bible seriously and in a historical way, and they are really interested into learning more and more and teaching the Bible the right way. So yeah, I was completely lost. I had lost my faith into attending church, you know, but I have finally met the right kind of people. So this has been amazing. So the Presbyterians and the Calvinists, they have helped me to read the Bible in this different way where I can really understand the meaning behind, you know, and also when they uh, explain in the sermon about the verses of the text, they explain the context, the historical context, the geographic context as well, the culture, how people thought and behaved in that region of the world at that time, long, long time ago. So you can really understand much more, and it's really fascinating. I can tell you, you should read the Bible because it is a fascinating book with so many lessons, good lessons. It is a guide for us. God is the creator. He created everything. He created us, and this is the guide, His guide for us to have a better life. So if you're feeling lost, if you don't know what is your purpose in life, like what is the meaning of life, or what is my mission here, you can find all the answers in this book. God meant it to be a book, not a book of rules, you know, like of strict rules. A lot of people, they see God as someone like mean, you know, like, ah, you need to follow these rules, and if you don't, you're just going to hell, you know. But He gave us rules because he's trying to tell us this is the best way for you to enjoy your life. You know, I created you, I know how you work, how you function. So read the instructions so you can have a good life, so things can go well for you. It is as simple as that. It's not about following strict rules, it's about understanding our purpose and how we work, how we function, and what is our mission in this, you know, in this journey that we call life. So life is really short, and we're just pilgrims here on earth, and we should aim and focus in eternity because that's what really matters. And God, by His teachings, by the example of His Son, He's trying to show us the way, the right way to go, to follow. And His Son, Jesus Christ, is the way. And man, the more I read it, the more I understand. the more I realize how ignorant I was my whole life, you know. So yeah, it's life changing. This has been a life changing experience for me.